A minute left to go. Just want to make sure my mic is working. Preferably, you are able to hear this right now. And if not, let me know. Hello folks, and welcome to the Orion Arm, which ideally would be appearing on screen right now, but is not. So that can't be good. Let's see what's going on. What's going on? Should I just restart the stream? No, we've gone too far. Hey, there it is. Okay, hell yeah. Okay, so I am Mark, the man behind the curtain, and today we are continuing to build the Dawn of Victory star map, which now is on screen. Thank God. If you're not familiar with how these streams work, I'll do my best to give a quick refresher. And for those of you who have been here before, I'll do my best to stay true to that quick remark. Okay, so what is this? Well, the Way of World Building is a world building series we're putting on at the Templin Institute. As part of that, we're doing kind of a case study. We're creating a world of our own from scratch so you can see the world building process, or at least my world building process, in action. So in practice, that means we're building a star map for our science fiction setting called Dawn of Victory. The end result is a map that you can see at map.champlaingroup.com and map.champlain.group. God, our URLs are so perfect. I keep forgetting about that. Either way, hopefully the map link just popped up and streamed there. This is going to be kind of a part podcast, part world building session, part Q&A. 99% of it is me trying to figure out how Illustrator works, because yeah, I don't get it. I'm a Photoshop man. And I'll be, I don't know, answering any questions that might pop up in chat as we go along here, although I'll be paying attention to the map and kind of going back to questions every now and then. Super chats get priority. I don't think any of this is too crazy. But one thing that is kind of crazy is we are recording all these star systems that appear on this map in a helpful document, whose link should also have just popped up. And if you want to suggest names for various regions or various countries or various whatever that appear on this map, there'll be a place for you to do so. In fact, we're going to be getting some suggestions for system names this very stream, singular. Anything else I need to go over before we jump in? I guess I'll go over some changes that happened in between last stream and this one. But first, let's go to the old work screen. There we go. Okay. So added a few more details to the Dakawanga Deeps, which I'm only now pronouncing slightly correctly. Basically wanted to connect these different ways into the deeps all together, so there's no, I don't know, one-way streets, I guess you'd call it that. No cutoffs, no dead ends. So now these kind of all link together. You can get into, there's kind of these little rougher patches, but then the center of the deeps has these strong connection strings. So I don't know. I think that's going to be pretty slick. We've also adjusted just some of the names, moved some stuff around. We brought on the new master of the map, although we got to figure out a better title than that. Alexandrian Codex? Alexandrian Codex? Am I pronouncing that even slightly correct? Probably not. But they're helping with a bunch of the names as well. So, anything else to go over before we just start getting to Italy, which, as I think the thumbnail giveaway is going to be the focus of this stream. I guess I'll just say that I've mentioned in past streams and in Templin Institute videos that my health has been a little uneven. Today has been a little rougher. I'm feeling pretty decent right now, but if I suddenly disappear for 2 minutes, I don't know, I'm throwing up, I guess. And I don't know, might need to end this a bit shorter than usual, but I'll press forward and we'll see how we do. Okay, so I think that's all the important stuff. Let's get to Rome, shall we? So Rome, Italy is, I guess, the country name, right? Yeah. So in the Dawn of Victory universe, Italy is a part of the Axis. They are allies of the German Reich, and not necessarily equal allies at that. They've been kind of subservient within the Axis power structure for the better part of 200 years, and it's tough coming back from that, especially when your allies are the, fascist Germans. So Rome in Dawn of Victory I see as, well, I don't know. I guess I got to start from like a weird kind of challenge or question we got to posit here, which is how brave are we in constructing this setting? Because what I really want to do is evoke that classic kind of, I don't know, Roman aesthetic, but in a way that makes sense within a more realistic nation state. So not like everyone's wearing togas and we have an emperor, but rather, what does a fascist state look like when it's trying to evoke the Roman prestige, but like nothing else? So structurally, this is nothing like Rome, but aesthetically, the government's like, yeah, we kind of want you thinking about that. So why I say is how cowardly or how courageous are we is, do we have the balls to name the two main Roman star systems Romulus and Remus, and just out Romulan the Romulans? I kind of want to. I think it'd be really cool. And it makes more sense in this universe than it does in Star Trek, so I think it has to be done. I think we gotta start there. Oh, but you know what? Because I want to see a bit more of this general area, I am gonna reveal part of the map. So, a small part of the map, but a part of the map nevertheless. Kablam! Look at that. We can see a bit deeper into German territory. And I'm going to lock that off now so I don't accidentally reveal the whole thing. Okay, there we go. So, I've made like a little quick connection. There's like nothing actually beyond this, but I kind of want to just figure out like where generally the main line into German territory is coming through. And yeah, so right around there. Whereas I feel there's also two other ways to get into Italian space, which would be like this way, or kind of here, and then the Roman capital's here with like, it's mostly in this area, with like connections into Argentinian space, and I think it's basically the idea. So where do we go from this? Romulus and Remus, of course. Oh, and I'll just say, let me link that document again, because chat is going kind of fast. We have put forward, we're calling them bounties. This is basically us soliciting ideas for star system names. So there is an Italian star system section to the document now. And I swear to God, before the stream started, or rather when I was in Countdown, I put this document up and then I left to go to the bathroom. And then by the time I got back, it was like full of stars. There's already 156, 157 names. So you folks work fast. What can I say? All right, but let's start with Romulus Remus. Also, this emblem kind of sucks. I really hate this. Doesn't look very evocative, and it becomes just like a little smudge when you zoom out far enough. So I have to, I gotta change that at some point. Also, this music is oddly tense. I don't like this. This is like putting too much pressure on me. This is like I'm hacking Rapture with slicers on my tail or something. I don't know. Splicers, rather. Okay, Romulus and Remus. Where's my legend? Over here. Italy, where are ya? Generative AI in Adobe Illustrator. I couldn't care less about that. Yeah, this is like hacking minigame music. This is way too much pressure. And also, I've already lost track of what I'm doing here. Okay, Italian, something like that. Romulus and Remus. I don't know if we have the courage for this. I feel like this makes a lot of sense. I feel like for a fascist republic trying to evoke the spirit of Rome, naming your star systems after like Romulus and Remus, it's such like a harmless thing, but it furthers your goals, I think, in a pretty clear way, and yet it still feels completely goofy and Star Trek-y to me. So I don't know. Has this ruined the setting, or is this... Does this make sense? Are we better off just calling this, like, Neo-Rome or some shit? I don't know. But I knew... I do know I want them to be on, like, the edge of the peninsula. The Romans, or the Italians have to, like, be in their boot again. Space boot. Space boot. 2289. Okay, Romulus Remus. But let's start adding some other Italian stars just to get the basis of how this is going to look. I think I figured out a pretty good way to do this last stream, where I put down like maybe just a couple dozen at a time and then started naming those. And from there, just like finishing off smaller sections as opposed to like starting on big sections. World building on live stream is slightly different than world building for fun. Especially when Illustrator sucks. God damn you, Illustrator. And thank you for those of you who are sending in super chats. We'll be getting to those shortly whenever I get frustrated with Illustrator and take a break, but right now I'm still feeling good, so we are in map making mode. Something like that. Definitely want that kind of Mediterranean feel. And then this is where like having this awesome background artwork kind of helps so much. Like we got our own little like mini Mediterranean. And the Aquila. I gotta name that. So we got the Mare Nostrum, probably around there. And then let's name this sucker. Tim Barton, by the way, is the artist who is creating the backdrop for this star map, because I have no artistic talent. And I don't know if we told him that the Italians were being here, but this thing looks like a bird to me. Like, that seems rad as hell, right? Like the Aquila. Although I feel like it does need a better name than just Aquila, right? Like the Aquila of... No, that's stupid. Aquila... also 1L says Warpig 501, okay. Aquila. Whew. I don't know. We'll just keep it Aquila for now, and then eventually we'll think of something better. None of these names, by the way, I consider set in stone. This is literally just, let's get some stuff on the map, see how it looks, and there's nothing stopping us from coming back to it later, as evidenced by a lot of the work we've put into the Golden Horn, the Magellan subcluster. All these areas got a bit of a rework, so there we go. So, Romulus and Remus, which I can't get over saying, definitely are the major star systems in the Italian Republic, so let's get them hooked up together. So right now I'm just kind of thinking, like, if that's where the capital is, then how did the first wave of refugees get into Italy from Earth? Like, how did the evacuation route kind of go? And I think what happened is, like, they probably... I mean, this is too long, right? But they probably went something like that. So what I think happened is, for, like, a history lesson, the Germans go up here and eventually settle around here. That's where the Germans are. But then they're like messing around with strings, and they're like figuring out there's more lines going down here. With this information, they start maybe developing this area too. And this becomes like the second avenue of the German evacuation from Earth, or the Axis evacuation. So I think mostly Germans went up that string, and then mostly the Axis client states, or allies, or whatever you want to call them, went in this direction. So you'd have Italy, and then we probably have like the Balkans over here somewhere, and other Axis-occupied territories, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, which are combined in this universe, I believe. So, all right, that is the general thinking. So, how do they get there? I like this star system being like a cool, like, kind of gateway system. Like, that is the first port that gets you into the Italian Republic here. Copy the wrong one. Let's do... Yeah. I think I'll probably have to come back to this and expand this out in more detail, but maybe that's good enough. Maybe the Italians got really lucky in how long these cosmic strings are. I know it doesn't look it, but I'm actually getting better at Illustrator, I think. Something like this. Yeah, good enough for now. I might want to make this more interesting as we get along. But, okay, now they're all connected. We can figure out how the Italian state kind of works. Huh, I might actually switch this around. Based on my Star Trek knowledge, Romulus was the more important of the two. So I feel like that's going to be the first... Like, this is the center of the Italian state, right? So from there, like, maybe... like so. Seeing Romulus and Remus is still breaking my brain. I've watched too much Star Trek for that not to affect things. Okay. Probably don't need to get these perfect on stream, but that's just the way I'm thinking right now. Something like that. And sorry if it appears that I'm ignoring chat. I am, but only because I'm focusing on this, and then I think as soon as we get this kind of locked down, we'll get back to answering questions and whatnot. Explaining myself, no doubt. Should be noted that the number of systems controlled by a nation doesn't necessarily correspond to the power or strength of that state. Italy has a lot more star systems than other countries of a similar population because it benefited from its relationship with the Greater German Reich, or the regular German Reich. I don't know what we're calling it in this universe quite yet. So, yeah. Just because Rome or Italy has a bunch of star systems comparable to India doesn't mean they're operating on the same level. Okay, don't like that. Don't like that. And I think these are like following the nebula too much. I think we need to break it up a bit. Something like this. I think I'm nailing this. Okay, in terms of like a shape for Italy, I don't like hate this. Except I shouldn't be copying a Romulus, that's gonna cause some trouble. What did I just do? I don't know what I did there, but that was weird. Okay. Something like so. And this is like the backcountry. Or maybe there's like an independent cluster between the Germans and the Italians. Or maybe that's where some other state is, like maybe, I don't know, maybe a legacy nation from Earth, or it could be something completely different. So maybe I'll leave this open just for now. But let's get to naming these systems. But before that, let's get to answering questions. So let's start with the super chats. So I just bring up what's been going on here. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Okay, so I second Danielle Fablo's suggestion to call the core worlds as the 7 Hills of Rome. And I'm not gonna try to pronounce those because I know I'll screw it up. And that's from, I'm gonna get the other names wrong. Julie Mary? Something Mary? I can't really see it from here, it's on the second monitor. Sorry for butchering every single name that pops up on these streams, that's on me. 7 Hills of Rome, eh? I will strongly consider that. My initial instinct is that naming too many star systems after the hills of like a single city isn't reflective of Italy as a whole, but not knowing the cultural significance of those hills, maybe that's not true. And also, we do have like a bunch of star systems, so maybe there's like, if they were colonized in clusters. Okay, the short answer is this is strong. It's a strong suggestion. And Burke Barnett saying Stellaris terms. Fanatic militarist, authoritarian dictatorship of Senate, planets run by governors. Oh, I see. This is like Italy and Stellaris. Got it. Planets run by governors who are appointed by Senate and confirmed by dictator who serve 5-year terms and then rotate. Man, I don't think it's necessarily wise to think of this in Stellaris terms. I mean, unless we're making a Stellaris mod, in which case it absolutely would be a smart idea. But I don't want to get stuck in thinking about real-world geopolitics through video game terms, because that way you can lose some of the nuance. But in terms of like converting Italy to Stellaris, that seems pretty close. And the one and only JJ, I think? One and only JJ? Yes, that's probably their name. I feel like any pompous naming convention inherently has some goofy aspect to it because the people deciding the names are sort of full of themselves. TLDR, I say go forth with Romulus and Remus. Yeah, like, doesn't this kind of seem like what Mussolini would do with his like fancy pants and big hat and all that stuff? Like, I mean, this does feel like a cheap way to evoke Rome. Like, we want to trade on the cachet of the glory of Rome. We don't want to actually do anything, so we'll just name some star systems. I feel like that's it. This just feels like very showmanship and very like flashy fascist behavior to me. So I feel like this works. Why is the new Roma Republic's emblem a cactus? Well, technically, this is the Italian Republic, possibly the Italian Social Republic. Not sure on the exact name yet, but it's not it's not a cactus. It's a oh god, I can't pronounce any of this. It's a fasces. It's the fascist symbol. I believe it has some sort of connection to like an arrow or like a bundle of arrows or whatever. But yeah, this was the emblem, the roundel of Italy during World War II, I think. I used it for planets as a temporary measure, but I think it kind of looks like crap, so like from the when you zoom out, it looks like nothing, so yeah. Might need to replace these in the future. And Radar Ping saying, since alien ruins and Lovecraftian stuff are real, we gotta have the Reich going on their crystal-fueled esoteric goose chases, but actually being successful this time with consequences. Think Indiana Jones in space. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Synfaxy tech is what kind of got, well, not Synfaxy tech, the Synfaxy way of looking at technology. I don't know how to phrase that, but basically it was the Synfaxy that kind of spurred mankind to get into space and provided the technical knowledge, if indirectly. So finding alien technology is a priority for every government So, yeah. Absolutely. 100% makes sense to me. Okay. Now for non-Super Chat questions, anything really standing out at the moment? I've probably missed a lot of questions while I was reading those. What do we got? Okay, here we go. Money Grows asking, will there be an official story, or is this just a purely world-building project? I mean, right now, it's just a case study for our world-building series. Next episode coming out hopefully soonish, man. It's been a bit delayed. But in terms of, like, an official story, I don't know, like, I want events to progress in the universe, but ideally, this is a sandbox where anyone can create their story. So, yeah, I guess there is an official story in the sense, but it takes place at a very high level. In that way, it's like the geopolitical movement, that kind of thing, as opposed to characters going on adventures. Hopefully that answers that question. I always feel like I'm rambling when I talk about world building, but I think that's pretty honest to the practice, so what can I do? Okay, Raphael, can't pronounce that last name, Sizamir, maybe? You need one capital. Romulus and Remus should be 2 stars in the capital binary system. Oh, yeah, okay, so I don't know how to mark that on the map. I mean, we've done it before, right? We got we got Alpha Centauri, which is a trinary system. Doesn't it have 3 or 2? I don't know. And we didn't do anything special for that. So what do I do in this case? Do I just put them like really close together to indicate that's a binary? Like, is that gonna look stupid? Huh. All right, let's add that to like the list of things to consider, but it might require me to like adjust how I design some stuff, so we might need to come back to that next stream, but let's add that to the list of notes of things to consider. And I see a bunch of suggestions here. Feel free to add those to the document. I mean, we got a bunch, so plenty of space left though. Okay, oh yes, the Vatican moons, where are they, asks Dogasa Botu. Botu? Oh, sorry about these names butchering. Ugh. My fault. But okay, in terms of the Vatican moons, that is a good question. I wanted the Vatican moons to be somewhere in Italy. And for those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, the Vatican moons started as a joke and then turned real, where the Vatican has some sort of interstellar presence, and we think they're called the Vatican moons. Or, I don't know, we think that. It's just this joke, but I think it sounds too cool not to use. So, Vatican moons, like, are they on the tip of the Aquila, maybe? Or are they somewhere on their own? I think they're somewhere on their own. I think maybe they're, like, somewhere around here. Another idea that I was kind of thinking of, and maybe I'll talk about this in my next break, is, like, having... I'm not exactly sure how to represent this, just going off the seat of my pants here, but like something like this, like a debris field or something. Like maybe the Vatican moons aren't a star system. Maybe they're like a collection of stuff. I don't know. This looks dumb, but does anyone have any idea what I'm trying to say here? Where it's like the Vatican moons aren't like a traditional star system. They're like a region of stuff. I don't know. Something to consider, at the very least. Even if that made no sense. Alright, other questions. What do we got? How did the Kingdom of Italy pre-war become the Italian Social Republic, especially without World War II? So the history of the world post-Zinfaxi War is still kind of in motion, under construction, but the general idea is that a lot of countries just collapsed after the war and were rebuilt along ideological lines. So the German Wehrmacht probably had a big hand in building post-war Italy, more so than the Italian people. How stable is the Italian Republic? I don't have an answer to this one. We got to develop these countries over time. So ideally for Italy, for example, we'll bring on some people, and we're starting to build up the Dawn of Victory team here. It's not just me anymore, but we'll get someone who really knows, you know, their World War II Italian history, and we'll try to find a way to, I don't know, bring that out in a science fiction setting. So yeah, not a lot is actually figured out behind the scenes for all these different countries. It's just a matter of getting them on the map and then letting that inform the process. Like, where India appears on the map is starting to affect its, you know, foreign policy just by virtue of being close to places like Vestige, you know. So I think a map is a good first step in figuring out these questions. Okay. Any other good questions here? What do we got? A lot of, oh wait, I'm way behind. Oh my lord. Okay, sorry if I'm missing some of these, but who is the leader of Italy now? Not sure. We got to come up with character names for this universe, but that is another thing. We haven't figured that out yet. How strong is the space Italian mafia? Don't know if this is a joke, but maybe kind of strong. I was reading a book about how the American mafia had such a big hand in Batista-era Cuba. So they're not nothing. I'll tell you that much. All right, we'll get to these latest super chats and then back to work. Savio Bejdo, again, sorry for the pronunciation, saying, I'd like to think the Italian view going into space is almost a second rebirth, a second renaissance of sort. Maybe a world around this artistic theme, such as a world, but such as Vinci after Leonardo da Vinci. I do agree. I think it would be seen as a second renaissance, a second rebirth, especially when you've been stuck on Earth for 100 years and it's falling apart. So yeah, maybe some more Renaissance thematically linked names. I like that idea a lot. Yep. Especially if we want maybe like a single like democratic Italian colony that's split off somewhere, or maybe a communist one. This is not necessarily the only Italian state or state with Italians in it, so keep that in mind. And Jimmy Mary saying, I second Beep Bop's suggestion of making the 3 core moons of the Vatican a reference to Trinity. Maybe habitable moons orbiting a gas giant. Yeah, that's actually... Okay, so you know what, let's figure out the Vatican moon situation right now, because this is going to drive me nuts. Okay, so I do like the Vatican moons orbit a gas giant. I think that's probably pretty slick looking. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. All right, so where are they? Are they like in this swirl thing? Because I kind of thought that was like a black hole, so maybe not. And are the Vatican moons just like a single star system, or are they several star systems with like just a shitload of moons in them spread out across like a mini region? I think it's I kind of want to do like just not one system. That feels like too much of a just like a recreation of Vatican City here on Earth, where it's all, you know, inside Italy. So what if, okay, well first, let's get their roundel made up. Oh wait, I've only now just realized that Vatican City doesn't have a roundel, I'm guessing, so I'll have to just come up with one here. Yeah, the Vatican City Air Force, that might not exist. Okay, so I guess it would just be like, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Have I made just a, yeah. Okay, Illustrator, I will figure you out eventually. Wait, no, it goes like that. And it's kind of yellowish, isn't it? The Vatican flag. Actually, let's just bring it in real quick. 1 second. All right, there it is. That's yellow. Except how do I make it that yellow? God, I hate Illustrator so much. So I gotta go like that. I don't feel bad, because I said this is what the stream would be. I said the stream would be me figuring out Illustrator, so you can't accuse me of false advertising. Except now I broke it even more. What did I do? This is a nightmare. Does that look right? I feel like I've messed everything up. All right, whatever, close enough. I will come back to this off stream and make sure that everything's working fine. So, where are the Vatican moons? Are they in this, like, crazy area? Actually, I kind of like them being, like, here. Out of the way, you know, don't pay attention to us. Yeah. And maybe just, like, 2. Or maybe just 1? I'm not sure, but let's get back to Italy for now. And start naming these. So for those of you who are experts on Italy and Rome, what significance do the hills of Rome have outside of the city itself? Like, does anyone care about Palatine outside the city? Like, is that a universal thing, or is it too linked to Rome? That's like kind of the question I have before using these names. Same with emperors. I'm not sure if we want to name these. Maybe I should just bring this up on stream so you can see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the hills, and not sure about, like, individuals. Aquilo, eagle, fast. Latin for dawn. These are pretty good. I'm liking that. Again, more emperors. Not sure if we want to go that route. Latin for diamond. I think these are pretty solid. Latin for mountain, summit, bear guard. Okay. Okay, I think I got an idea. Oof, I think I just gave away some of the map there. No one saw nothing. Let's do the hills just for now. We got 7 hills, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe these ones here. Again, I'm almost certain these are going to be temporary. I don't know if I love the hills idea. And, like, what order would they be in? Like, that's another question. Is there some significance to... For now, it's just going to be random. And we will come back to this later. Something like that. And I've seen a few people in chat asking what software I'm using. This is Adobe Illustrator, which I'm trying to learn. I started off in Photoshop, and the main reason I wanted to use Illustrator for this stream specifically is no matter how I zoom in, the names are still legible even if the artwork gets pixely. So that was the thinking there, to make it easier for the stream. But also having everything in vector form is going to make some of our longer termed projects hopefully easier. So that's the thinking there. Oh, okay. Italy has 4 fathers of the fatherland. maybe by 2285 it has 5. That would be like a crazy dictator move to add yourself to the four fathers of the fatherland, but or the 5 fathers now. But I like that idea. I'm not sure if those would be star system names or planet names though. Other names that are looking good on this list. Rubicon. That feels too famous to me. Like everyone knows about the Rubicon, right? Okay, what about those Latin names? Latin for fortune. Translates from Italian to fortress. Latin for furnace. Latin for hunger. Ooh, that's not a good name for a system. That seems like a bad place to live if it's named hunger. Jeez, that's rough. That seems like a frontier system name. Okay, Annius. I'm seeing that pop up in chat. Roman hero from the Iliad who, in the epic poem, Ennead became the ancestor to something, to the Roman people. Oh yeah, okay. Works for me. Except I just lost it on this sheet. Okay, here we go. Again, I'm thinking mostly temporary until we can come back and look at this in earnest. But I do like the idea of just like Italian names, or Latin names rather. Aurora seems good for now. Latin, poetic name for Italy. That's another great one. We'll put that in a more important system, like right there. And some good chat popping up here. I think Rubicon would be a good name for the entry point to the cluster. Me too. It feels a bit too convenient, is my only fear. Like crossing the Rubicon all over again. Latin for mist. I like that. What is the most misty looking of these star systems? Okay, Latin for fortune, maybe. Latin for furnace. Fornax. I don't know if it's helpful for me to be able to see what I'm looking at here, but or if it's just annoying seeing this pop up. Italian for road. Let's keep these to Latin names. Mount Vesuvius. For gaze, to gaze upon. But I am liking just Latin words. Latin 4 plus roads, crossroads. Is that a thing? Is this a real word? Or a real Latin word? Yes, it is. Except... oh, it's a grouping of 4 subjects of arts. Oh, okay, there's a whole thing to this. Interesting. Maybe. Latin for sapphire. Yeah. Although any of these look more sapphire-ish than anyone else? Not really. But I do kind of like the dynamic here. We got the capital in the system and then these kind of area going up here, another one over there. But I also like this little link here. I feel like getting to this arm is going to be important. Yeah, something's going on in this area. In this case, we got Romulus, Remus, and then the 7 hills, and then mostly Latin words outside of that. Not the worst naming convention. I wish it was a bit stronger, but again, something we can improve off stream. right now it's just getting somewhere. Italian for lightning. Okay, let's keep looking at Latin stuff. Oh, Latin for hope. Okay. A little sappy, but I'll let it slide. Oh, Latin word for harvest. Love that. That's where the Covenants are going to attack. Something like this. Yeah, that's looking good. I think in terms of Dawn of Victory factions, the Italians are going to be a fun one, just because we'll be able to subvert or play with so many of the tropes you see in science fiction with regards to space Rome. Romulans are like the big example of that, but then even in Star Citizen, they do that thing where they're trying to evoke the history of Rome, but like you have a modern, like Western style republic with like an imperator as this leader, which sounds kind of goofy to me. So in the Dawn of Victory version, we can get like a weird kind of blend between Roman stuff and fascist stuff that hopefully makes more sense. If I can just get this star line to work. There we go. Okay. Nailed it. Okay. And thanks for the super chats. I will get to them just when I stop agonizing over what to name these star systems and where they should be. I kind of like this. Let's keep the Mediterranean clear. Okay, but then what's going on with the Vatican's the Vatican moons? Are they here? Or are they like closer to the axis? Are they here in this weird bubble thing? No. I don't hate them being there, but I feel like it needs to be more accessible. I feel like the Vatican needs to be kind of more out and about, not like in the center of the axis. I like this area more and more. Okay, if the Vatican had 2 star systems, what would they be named? Or would they have 3 star systems because of the Trinity? Would the Pope be going, no, we need 3, or else something bad's gonna happen? I don't know. Or maybe it's just 1. I don't know. I don't know if I can justify the fucking Vatican having 3 star systems, you know? Maybe it's just like a trinary star system like Alpha Centauri. All I know is they got like a shitload of moons. They got like a moon dedicated to the Vatican archives. They got like a moon dedicated to, I don't know, me when I achieve sainthood, all that stuff. So yeah, I think they got 1 star system, but it's possibly like 3 star systems in 1. And it is right there. And there's a shitload of moons. Yeah, all right. That is where they're gonna be. And this is what Italy is looking like. The problem is, or the question is, should Italy be even bigger than this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 systems. That sounds about kind of where I want them. India, for example, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, I think that's about right. India, maybe just slightly more than Italy. Yeah. Let's read out some more comments real quick here. What if the Vatican world was just a moon in one of the Italian star systems? That was the original idea, but then Vatican, the whole concept of the Vatican moons kind of took off a bit, and it's become a meme in the community. So I kind of want it to appear on the map now, you know, as opposed to just doing something lame like using our multi-nation kind of icon. I kind of want you to be able to see the Vatican on the map. Still though, what does Vatican City call their star system? I will take any suggestions for this because I have no clue. Vatican, like, what is Vatican? Like, is that something? Would it be called Vatica, maybe? Vatican City State. Is it called? Oh, what if it was like Vatican in Latin? Something like that. What is Trinity in Latin? I feel like that might be another good one. Although they would definitely have some sort of like weird Latin name, right? Okay, Vatican is derived from the name of an civilization settlement I can't pronounce called Vatica or Vaticum, located in the general area the Romans called Ager Vaticanus, Vatican territory. Interesting. So maybe they honor their original name of Vatica. Or Vaticum. Or, I don't know. Vatica for now, but that seems boring. Like, this Latin version seems way cooler. Also, I gotta get rid of the thing. Sorry about that. I forgot to get rid of these chats. There we go. So my point is, Vatican, is that something? Yeah, I think I'm fine with that for now. It's a little boring, but you need something that encompasses, like, a lot. This is the, you know, the star system of the Vatican Church, but also just the church in general. So I don't know, it's gotta fit a lot into it thematically. But I don't know. Good enough for now. We'll do some research into this later. Back to Italy. What's going on over here? So, and then I guess the other question is, like, who is going to be in this arm here? If Italy is here, who is there? I have no idea, so let's read some super chats while we're messing around. Okay, what have I missed? What's up with the Axis symbol on Discord? What inspired that? Yeah, I can't bring it up on stream right now, but we added this, emojis or emotes, whatever they're called, to our Discord server. Link maybe in chat right now? No, I don't have it set up. Well, there's a link in the description on one of these videos to our Discord. I added the Axis logo, and it's kind of like 3 stripes. Kind of almost looks like a sneaker brand. And the idea behind that was we wanted something really, oh god, there's gotta be a way to bring this up on stream, just so I'm not talking about an abstraction. But I guess not. Yeah, the idea is just 3 simple lines represent the Axis. We don't want anything connected to real world, you know, Axis iconography. And honestly, I think they needed a rebranding after World War II anyways, so. Right now, that's mostly just temporary though. But yeah, I don't know, I think it's not terrible as it is right now. The fascists will connect their evacuation to the legend of the Ennead in propaganda. Fascists love to connect themselves to ancient myth and image. If they can in propaganda, it may name a planet Enneas. Oh, okay. I don't know enough about the story there, but I will make a note of that. Or rather, our map master will make a note of that, and we'll talk about it later on. But yeah, I do think that fascism really loves a good heroic myth, right? I mean, that's what kind of fascism is all about. So maybe we make more exceptions for naming star systems after mythological figures for them than we would for others. Okay. And No Stripe again saying, I'd have the 7 hills be names for planets in the Rome system, 7 hills of Rome. Yeah, I think that makes a lot more sense. I think in the Romulus-Remus system, these should all be planets. And maybe Romulus and Remus are planets too. But I do like that idea. For now, though, I'm going to keep it as is, just so we have something on the map. And I think a single star system with a gas giant with 3 habitable moons would be more unique. Exomoons aren't that commonly used in sci-fi. Yeah, exomoons being like just moons in the middle of nowhere, right? Because that's what I was kind of thinking back when I made that crappy drawing, but... Okay, so what if like the Vatican moons looked more like this? So what if it's like... I mean, that still seems a bit too big. But it's like kind of like a weird shape where there's like a bunch of exomoons throughout. Like, is that too weird in sci-fi? I don't know enough about the universe, I guess, but the problem is I don't think it like looks very good on the map to have like kind of these more like nebulous areas as opposed to a single star system. But I do like the gas giant, lot of moons idea. Probably more than 3 moons. Because I want there to be a bunch. But alright, let's keep going. Namor92 saying, look at the ancient names of the Stato Delia. Okay, I can't actually bring that up because I have this on a separate computer, but I will add that to our list of sources to look into. Actually, let me just look that up right now because I'm curious what this is. Stato Della something or other. Okay, this Wikipedia page is in Italian. That's not going to help. Oh, the Papal States. Got it. I mean, that's even in the link there. Got it. Okay. Names of the Papal States. Thank you. That's good advice. And the Mega Super Pickle saying, just swinging by, but you guys have inspired me to take some of the ideas I've had kicking around and start working on my own world building project. Oh, congrats. It's tough, and it's tougher world building in public on a live stream, but once you get over that initial hurdle and just start putting stuff down, I think it can come together pretty damn fast. So yeah, I hope any advice I've given is useful. You know, it's going to be different for everybody, so you never know. Blue Space asking, did the Axis mellow out or still, you know? They have mellowed out very, very slightly. The idea for how we treat fascism in Dawn of Victory is that, I mean, we're still working on this, but the National Socialist movement and a lot of the racial, I don't know, segments of the fascist ideology get wiped out pretty fast after this Infaxi War, both because they're just like, you know, morally wrong, but also like out of alignment with success. I don't know how else you'd phrase that, but like, you know, in Oppenheimer when it's like anti-Semitism cost Hitler the bomb or whatever he says. Yeah, I mean that sort of stuff was like crazy, right? Like the Germans were teaching like National Socialist versions of mathematics. That's how crazy that was getting. So I think they had annihilated their engineering schools by the end of the... I don't know, I'm talking kind of out of my ass here, but the point is, fascism as it existed in the 1940s was a mess. It couldn't have continued for another 100 years, let alone 300 wherever we're at now. So fascism has had to evolve, but not completely. They're still very brutal and autocratic and all these things. So I hope that's at least a partial answer to a complex question. And, okay, one more. Albania and the Balkans. Albania was an Italian puppet just before World War II. Maybe it could be a smaller subsystem. Yeah. Assuming Albania wasn't just integrated into Italy directly and is still a puppet state, maybe Albania is like... I kind of want to have a lot of the Axis states around here. So, like, Albania, you know, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia is somewhere. I don't know. But we won't forget about Albania. Okay, any non-super chat burning questions that we need to get to immediately? Yeah, all right, I think we're good. Let's get back to it. So, in terms of like what goes here. Huh, you know what? I think we've been bringing in like a ton of legacy nations. Like I think most of the major powers on this map are oh, another super chat. I'll get to that in just a second, sorry. But I think it might be interesting to bring in some like non-legacy nations, like maybe the Axis powers tried to put together their own version of the Federation of Acadia in here, and it fell apart or kept together or something happened. But I think that's kind of what I'm thinking. And JK in chat is suggesting Spain. Yeah, I didn't want to have Spain and Italy right next to each other. I kind of wanted to like spread out the Axis minor powers out a bit, because Germany is going to be pretty big. Like Germany goes like around here, so I was thinking like Italy is over here. Actually, let's start writing this stuff down. Like I was thinking like Spain or no, that's not an idea. I can't write for shit. Okay, but the idea was Spain is going to be on the other side of the German space here. And talking a bit about the politics of it all, one of the ideas with the Axis in this setting is to kind of like show off all the different, well, not show off, but feature all the different, I don't know, mutations of fascism. So you got like the German version, you got the Italian version, and then with the Spanish, the idea with them was to keep them as a kingdom. So the Kingdom of Spain still exists, but it's, you know, been merged with the fascist ideology for 200 years now, so something in there. Well, let's start putting down star systems. We'll see what we got here. I don't think we need like a ton of star systems. I think this can be like a maybe a lesser developed part of the area, or I don't know. I mean, that looks kind of cool. But I do know that I want something near that swirl, because the swirl looks cool. Looking at this, I think I'm going to need to come back and edit Brazil a bit. The way these stars are lined up feel really off compared to what we've done since then. Like the older parts of the map, like this part especially, the Amazonia cluster, feel kind of off compared to how I kind of like this area. I don't know. Stuff feels a bit too spread out over there. Okay, but let's get some more independent colonies coming in here. Or independent for now, we'll see what happens later. Something like this. I don't hate that. That last string feels a little too long though. Sorry, I just gotta get a drink real quick here. Oh, there we go. I still don't love this connection. I think that kind of sucks. I think maybe the connection is further down. Something like this. Okay, let's try to link this up. I always like making these clusters. I think they look natural and make the map more interesting, but it's hard to make them look not intentional. Oh, so this music, I don't know. It's not doing it for me this time. This feels too stressful, you know? Like I'm hacking the, something or other. Like so. Oh, come on, Illustrator, work with me here. Connect these ones up. My worry is, just to give you a sense of my process, I'm adding a bunch of star systems to this area, and yet I still don't really know what I want this area to be, so this might be a problem with my approach here. Maybe I'll kind of refresh the brain just by talking about what it is this whole part of the map is supposed to be about in general, like its purpose, like why isn't this completely empty? I guess the intent with this whole section of the map, right, is this is where the evacuation efforts started. This is where the history of the Orion Arm kind of began. But now it's kind of this, I don't know, not really a neutral zone, but a contested zone between the four superpowers and minor states. So in terms of what this adds, this is our main battleground, I guess, or one of our main battlegrounds. So what is this part all about? I do not know. I mean, this is probably where the United States and Germany are going to be contesting things pretty heavily. So an intersection between the Americans, South America, Italy, and the Axis. And it's right next to the Acadian Expanse. So... I think it definitely needs to feature more independent nations. We don't have enough of those. So, you know, colonies that don't have any corresponding nation on Earth. And maybe they're completely new. So that's about right. Yeah, I think this is gonna be like a really contested area. This is where the front lines might be between fascism and democracy. So for that, we need a bunch of independent colonies. We need some interesting dynamics at play. Okay, so the Americans get in through here. And then what do they find? A bunch of just like independent kind of clusters. Is that one? No, let's keep that neutral for now. Something like so. Okay, why did I screw that up? This is overlay, this is... Alright, this is fine. But something like this. And I'll make this a little less straight. The idea that I'm working off of is that a lot of these colonies, they're not directly on the route, like the main routes, because, I don't know, they're unlucky, but they tend to develop like just off of it. There's usually like a inhabitable planet slightly off the route, so that gets developed, and now it's kind of controlling access to that original space route. You know, Vesta and Juno are the same way, where the main route is going through here, but all the planets on the actual route itself are kind of shit, so all these colonies never really get off the ground. And the ones that are successful are the ones that are just slightly off that main route. Hopefully that makes sense anyways, that's how I'm thinking about things. Because what are the chances that an inhabitable planet just happens to be on a major string? I mean, it happens sometimes, like with Alpha Centauri, but most of the time you get conditions like Sigma Draconis, where it's just an empty star system. Like so. Yeah, I'm kind of liking how this is shaping up. Just like a bunch of independent systems. Kind of a mess, really, when I think about it. And thanks for the super chats coming in. I'll get to those shortly here, as soon as I lose track of what it is I'm trying to accomplish right now. Which, don't worry, that'll be happening soon. Okay, what did I do? Try to add a star path to a system name or something? Oh, come on. Work with me here. I want to add onto this path, like so. Nothing makes sense. That should have worked. I don't understand it. Illustrator, you're embarrassing me on a live stream yet again. Okay, that's starting to come together. And I'm thinking that whatever planet or star system or nation is here is probably pretty important. Kind of makes things easier when the map informs how dynamics are going to play out like that. All right, but it might be time to start naming these. So I'm thinking we need a bunch of more Italian slash, although not necessarily, like, what are these colonies here all about? Now let's start with Italian names, kind of merging into more Spanish, Portuguese names as we go further south. So let's take some, just some rough Italian names for starting up here. What do we got? What do we got? Amalfi, name for the coastal area in Italy. Yeah, that could work. And for now, yeah, let's do it. Amalfi. Done. Oh, Greek, or from Greek for sickle. It's a city and municipality in Sicily is Trapani. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Okay. Trapani, that feels like it needs to have an independent state associated with it, right? Like the Republic of Trapani sounds like pretty good. So, yeah. And Latin for mountain, perhaps. And I think someone brought up Da Vinci. Maybe we name one of these for him. Maybe that Crossroads. Vinci. Crossroads of ideas. Tarita, referring to the Italian Tarita, the national personification. Oh, that's a strong Italian name. That maybe should be replacing one of these, but I'll add it to our list rather than replacing it right now. Salieri, Italian to go up. I mean, I'm pronouncing this wrong, but that sounds pretty solid for a star system name. Let me just bring up my list here so we can see what I'm looking at. Again, I think this is going to be mostly temporary. Naming the Italian systems is going to require some research, and I don't want to waste everyone's time by just watching me read a Wikipedia article on stream here. But we'll try to find some stuff that works. Nembo, Italian, a dark rain cloud. Yeah. Maybe in the middle of this nebula area. Latin for river. I kind of like that. Or okay. Fornax. I like this Fiume one. I've already used it. I feel like I might have. Or maybe not. Are folks in chat suggesting characters from the Fast and the Furious? Because I don't think that's good. Although maybe you can sneak one by me. Yeah, what's the main character's last name? I have not seen a single Fast and Furious movie in my life, so I don't know anything. But Dom something. The main guy's name is Dom Lewis, I think. Dom Stevenson. Okay, what else do we got? Italian, give me some Italian names. Victory. Yeah, all right. Although, why would they call their system Victory? That seems kind of stupid. Unless there's a big victory there, which I don't think there might have been. So, Latin for trident. Okay, is there anything part of this that looks like a trident? Yes, this part. Tridenti. Oh, the Tiber River. That is a good one. Yes. Another name for the Tiber River. Okay, we got Po, longest flowing river in Italy. What are the... Is there another name for that? Po doesn't exactly sound great. Longest river in Italy. Oh, it is the Po. Okay. Well, that is a terrible name for a river. I can't call a star system Po. But I guess I have no choice. Does the Po flow into the Tiber? Because if it does, that would make a lot of sense right now, but let's add that to the list of things to look into. And Sojourner 1724 suggesting osare. It's a verb meaning dare or venture. I like that one. Osare. To dare or to venture. That feels like it's a name that refers to like getting deeper into this thing. So let's put it there for now. Joe Kyle saying there should be a ravioli system. I agree, but I think you'd have a hard time convincing anyone to name it that, so... There will be a Chef Boyardee system. Fuck it. I think we need to add Rubicon. God damn it. That feels like such like a cheap, you know, like too obvious a name, but it's also very cool. And maybe that's like the border between like the Soviet or the kind of the Axis and the Odo. So it's like, I don't know. Wouldn't it be kind of awesome if the Axis American version of the Fulda Gap was the Rubicon system? I don't hate that, although it's too convenient. All right, it's on my list of things to consider. Although, like, I feel like the Rubicon can't just be like a single system, right? Like when you're crossing the Rubicon, that's like a huge deal. So like the Rubicon needs to be like one of these, right? And instead of a single system, there should be like a bunch of systems connected by weaker strings. So it's like the Rubicon is kind of like the Well of Embers, where it's just like a place where the strings get fucked up. So crossing the Rubicon is hard and difficult, but if you do it, all of a sudden you're in like the heart of well, not the heart, but you're on the border of Axis territory. So yeah, I feel like maybe we work on the Rubicon next stream, because that sounds pretty cool. or, you know, in a stream down the line. Let's get back to naming, though. Severin. It is derived from Latin, severe, serious, or strict. And isn't the Severin sector where Templin Institute field agents were just reporting on Malevolon Creek? Were they not in the Severin sector? I think that's a thing. Severin. And thanks for the super chats coming in here, folks. I will be getting to those just in a second here, as soon as I name these last few. An early rival to Rome. That's a cool name. Let's put them here. We also need New Carthage in here somewhere, because that's a cool name for a system. Although I don't think it would be that close to Italy. I don't think. I think people might be kind of reluctant to name a star system Carthage so close to Italy here. What's the message there? What's the question? Okay, but I'm rambling. Let's find some more names and we'll move on. The primary port city of ancient Rome works for me. In fact, that sounds like a cool name for an independent, like, colony system too. So let's get the name down and then not really sure about what the history for this place is yet, but I kind of think that the idea behind the evacuation is that each of the superpowers tried to create their own, like, regional federations to make the evacuation easier, right? So the Americans created the Acadian Federation, and it kind of broke apart. Maybe the Axis, in this case, like, didn't even try, and they just dumped a bunch of people here, and were like, well, you know, good luck. And now you got all these, like, kind of failed states, or maybe a few of them are doing okay. But this definitely feels like a battleground between the Axis and Otto. Alright, but I'm getting distracted again. Italian for Sparrowhawk. We had a guy named Sparrowhawk working on the old version of Dawn of Victory back in the day. Bright, Shining, Lucida, Ghost of the Departed, Corsican Island, Invictus, Latin for rainbow, Latin for innocence, misfortune, Latin for furnace, Latin for hunger. Now, I want some just, like, more generic Italian names. Neuraxi, named for the ancient megalithic edifice found in Sardinia, which has come to be a symbol of... Okay, yeah, that works for me. That is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. Neuraxi. Sounds cool, too. And let's connect that to there. Also, the music has improved, so that's good. And I think this leaves 2 more star systems for now. Vesta, we already got one of them. Italian for road. That actually seems kind of funny, the road system. Nope, but that's not going to work. Okay, what about... Oh, Beautiful Mountain. I kind of like that. Mangabello. And one more. How about... Has anyone been adding some... What's this? Someone just added Giramondo. What's Giramondo all about? Giramondo is a modern-day touring bike with geometry designed for hours of comfortable riding. That's probably not what we're looking for. It means... I have no idea what this means. Italian for wanderer. Thank you to whoever added that. That's a good one. Okay, so just so you get a sense of the process, basically all these names are temporary. I don't want to update the map with a bunch of like independents kind of sitting around, but this is kind of the feel we're looking for here. So like as a starting point, I think this is pretty good. And eventually what we'll do is we'll probably come through this whole region and we'll make sure that like more of the Italian names are in the top here. And then as we go down, there should be more of a South American influence, and we'll replace like some of, like maybe Vinci gets replaced or moved around. But I think these are all working at least, so that's something. Something like that. But I like this triangle, and I kind of want the triangle to be more important. Right now, we got two systems just kind of at the dead end of this route here, so... I kind of like the idea of this being like a deadly triangle, you know? There's something going on in this star system. Or in this whole section, rather. Like in spitballing some ideas, like maybe one of these is fascist, one of them is part of Odo, one of them's independent. Just trying to like get some cool dynamics kind of popping off here. Over here, perhaps. Come on, Illustrator, work with me here. Nope. Come on, almost there. Why can't I select the string? Damn you, Illustrator. Okay, there we go. Like so, and like so. And then just like a few temporary systems, or temporarily named systems around the Vatican here. Okay, so you don't get to go to the Vatican directly. You gotta make some stops. Maybe like that. Damn you. Okay, that's looking good. We'll link these ones up as well. Yeah, I think that's working out. Okay. Let's just look back on what we've accomplished here. I feel like some of these strings need to be cleaned up a bit. Like this section needs a bit of work, but for what it's doing right now, I think it's gonna be good enough. Just gotta figure out some more temporary names for these star systems here. Let's go back to our list. Avanti, Italian battle cry means forward. Good enough. And Vespucci, maybe. Got to ignore famous people till we've done more research on them. Great Horn, Corno Grande. I do like that. But where would it go? Not there. So I guess the question is, what star systems should be surrounding the Vatican? I feel like they do need to be thematically linked to the Holy See. So what are the names of those systems? The fact that there's 3 of them ties into the Trinity thing kind of well, but we might be using that for something else. Hard to know. Let's hook this up while we're here. Being able to edit the map like this is incredibly useful. Just move stuff around. Nick Gnip4 saying the Holy A and Holy B. I mean, you can't argue with that, right? Holy A, Holy B, and the main one, Holy C. Please remind me to fix these before I upload the map, because I'm going to forget. That is a solid as hell joke. Okay. Good enough for now. I don't necessarily love this section. I feel like this needs a bit more work still. Again, not exactly sure like why I'm making these slight changes, just because I think they aesthetically look a bit better when there's some more variation to how the strings kind of line up. Okay, that's all looking good. I'll get rid of that Aquila name until we figure out something better for it. Tiber, a bit too far? Maybe that's just a super long string. Not sure. We'll look into that. Or does it connect at all? Maybe it doesn't. For now it will, though. Okay, I think I've missed some super chats and also some regular chats, so let's get back to that. Okay, where am I? Okay, I think this is the latest one. Jimmy Mary saying, how about 12 minor moons, each representing the apostles and 3 habitable moons? Yeah, I think... I'm not sure, because there'd have to be naturally 12 moons there for that to make sense, right? I feel like that's what we'd... I don't know. These are all good suggestions. I don't want to get too into the weeds on naming the Vatican City stuff, because I feel like it's going to require a lot of research and tact and grace to, you know, not be accidentally offensive to somebody. But I do like the apostles. I think that's a really strong thematic link. Moons already kind of feel like Yeah, it just feels very apt. So yeah, we'll add that to the list. But thank you, and thank you for Lakeside Trey for suggesting that. Imperator Zor saying, in the Cold War in East Germany, people could buy hamburgers, but they were officially called Grilletta, I think, to avoid association with the capitalist West. I mean, the same thing happened in the 2000s. Remember Freedom Fries? God, I was a kid and I still thought that was the stupidest thing. When America renamed their French fries Freedom Fries, and it saved democracy for everybody. And Burke Barnett saying, suggestion for main string for that conflict. South from Vatican, going through or near some of the bright spots, down to the entrance of the USA. So, like kind of here. South from Vatican, going through or something, yeah. Just to see how that would look. Kind of like that. Yeah, I'll think about it. I think I gotta wait for this part to kind of open up first before we can work on this section too much more, but we're getting there. Okay, could the Irish/Erie be a democracy bordering the Vatican? Could be OTO or independent, seeing as how they've historically been very Catholic. I mean, there's nothing against that, but typically nations end up where they do based on the type of FTL drive they have. So, you know, just because Ireland is mostly Catholic, it's no guarantee that end up close to the Vatican. I don't know where Ireland would be. Maybe they're like in here somewhere, over there. Yeah, but that's kind of my thinking on that one. And the one and only JJ saying, what is your initial rough ratio for legacy nations and original countries of multiple systems? Is Vega, or now East-West Vega, a one-off, for instance? No, so the ratio for legacy nations to non-legacy nations, I kind of want to be 1-to-1, meaning it's, you know, roughly split. Or maybe there's even more legacy nations now than there are, or more non-legacy nations than there are legacy nations. The reason why we have so many legacy nations, you know, Turkey, what host do we got? You know, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, Argentina, is because we're starting off, like, this is where the evacuation route started, and you really get the independent colonies more and more the further you go out. So Vega is kind of the first one, but it's not the only one. There's going to be another, you know, big non-legacy nation over here. So we got other plans for way more. Vega is not a one-off. There's tons of them. In fact, I think some of them show up on our wiki in the astropolitics page. But yeah, in terms of ratios, let's say for now 1-to-1. But probably more non-legacy nations than legacy nations. And again, apologies for my pronunciation. Mauricio Tarno, maybe? Tamio? I can't actually read it because it's on a different screen here. But Expedus was a Roman general, later turned into a Catholic saint. Think about it. Damn, that is a good one. Okay, let me write that down, because I don't know how to spell. Expeditious. Also known as Expedite, was said to have been a Roman centurion in Armenia. Damn, that's pretty cool. And then, I don't know, did he found Expedia after that? Or he must have done something. Because that is way too close to Expedia for my tastes. But let's add him to... We'll replace the Holy Bee for now. Actually, no. I don't want to mess around with the Holy A through C, because I feel like these have to be very important names, and I don't want to do that willy-nilly. So I'll keep that in the back pocket for now, but thanks for the suggestion. That's a good one. And how are you going to add former colonies from Africa and Asia? Are they still colonies of the former empires? In some cases, yes. In other cases, no. So for Africa specifically, we do have some African nations that have transitioned to the Orion Arm fully intact, like Nigeria, I think, is the big one that we've added right now. But then we also have like the East African Federation, which is a, you know, federation from East Africa. And then you have a bunch of smaller colonies with sizable African populations, or people from African descent. So basically every multicultural colony, Colwood, Highland, New Canaan, Tau Ceti, Alpha Centauri, Sirius, Vega, all these colonies have significant African populations. Okay, what else do we got? Agree with Wizen Chap. Or this is by No Stripe, by the way. The Americans should name a planet to cross in the Rubicon Carthage, then make it a massive naval base for the U.S. Navy. Yeah, I want to be careful about how we do historical parallels, but that would be kind of funny. Carthage base. Huh. We'll think about it. But I think I want to have Carthage on the frontier. I feel like that's like kind of a cool place for it. And I suggest having Sweden as the power against Turkey in the new Canaan corridor. Yes, for those of you just tuning in, we have long been talking about adding another nation into this area here. Not sure what it's going to be. I think it's probably not going to be Sweden. Sweden and Finland and Norway and I think that's it are part of a group called the Federal Nordic Cooperative, and they're around here somewhere. But as for who's going there, I think the decision is going to be 2 non-legacy nations. So we'll have actually 2 countries facing off against Turkey for control over the new Canaan corridor. So, you know, the Republic of Antares and the something else for now. But we'll worry about that later. For now, I gotta figure out this. Oh, I gotta keep going through my chats here. What else? One more. For the Vatican adjacent star systems, I'd use the name of the disciples/saints. Yes, agreed. I'm just not sure, like, if you can only do 3, who are the 3 that you have to include without being offensive or without, you know, not representing the Holy See properly. I don't know. I'm not actually sure if saints and apostles are going to be the right name for star systems. Maybe they got to be planets and moons within them. That's my thinking anyways. But, alright, let's get to some regular chats before we call things for the day. Does Switzerland exist on this map? No, not yet. So, yo, I'm from Carthage, please do. Also, is John and Victor going to have most of today's countries or just the countries that play a huge role on the global stage? I think we're going for most. I want Dawn of Victory to be like an inclusive setting in a weird way. Like, on the surface, it's hardly inclusive at all, right? Because it features all these horrible ideologies. But what I mean by that is not every country made it into the Orion Arm, like 1-to-1, but some have, but every ethnic group has made it out. So in terms of countries, even though we're not featuring all of them, we're still trying to feature as many as we can that make sense. Like we got Chile, we got Colombia, we got Argentina. Like this by themselves, like how many times do you see an interstellar Argentine state in science fiction? Probably never, or at least very rarely. So that's kind of the vibe we're going for in this setting as opposed to others. We got Pakistan, India. Yeah, I think we're doing pretty well. And again from Sojourner, asking the good questions. Did today's stream start earlier? Normally we're starting at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays, so today started on time. Previous streams have started late just because sometimes I'm not feeling great and I need to push back the start date or the start time by a second. Will the UK lead a space commonwealth, making it a superpower in all but name? Yeah, kinda. We want the United Kingdom to, I don't know, be of greater power, strength, whatever you want to call it, than it was compared to our own timeline. The British Empire wasn't totally wrecked during World War II. It was totally wrecked during the Sinfaxi War, and as a result, it's been able to keep up its colonial relations maybe a bit stronger than normally. But yeah, I think that's a safe bet. I think the UK is probably just behind the US in terms of, I don't know, global interstellar prominence. In terms of economic strength, I think the US is way ahead, but that's kind of thinking. A lot of this stuff is just on like the planning stages, so I can't give super detailed answers to some of these. And Salvo Bejdo, again, sorry for butchering your name there. Renovatio is Latin for renewal, rebirth, renaissance. Okay, that's another good one. I'm gonna add that to our list, thank you. All right, so I've kind of run out of ideas of what to do with the map for this session, so I think I'm gonna end things here. Let's save this, make sure we're all good. I'm pretty happy with the progress. I think right after the stream, or maybe over the next couple days, I'm going to go through all these planets or all these star systems and replace a lot of these names. I think the Seven Hills is going to work for better for planets rather than star systems. But I'm happy with how this section of the map is coming together, and I think Rome is looking pretty cool too. So, what are we working on next stream? I am not sure. Maybe we'll do like a big kind of Brazil slash border territories revamp and really put some extra work into this section, because I think it's starting to get there. Okay, but yeah, any burning questions that we need to get answered? Any super chats I possibly missed before we call it? Hopefully not. Oops, Robin, something about that? Okay. Now I get it. People are spamming chat. That's never the greatest. Bloodborne Duck saying, what if outside of their capital system, the Vatican consisted of a series of enclaves across the Orion Arm, colloquially called the Vatican Moons, kind of like Shrine Worlds in 40k? I don't hate I mean, realistically they would, right? But it'd be more like boring business offices and nondescript space stations rather than needing to control the moon outright directly. So I'm probably gonna have to put the axe on that idea, but I like the spirit of it. There's definitely, you know, Vatican enclaves managing the interests of the church across the Orion Arm, just like there are in real life. And Alexandrian Codex, master of the map, asking, Mark, did you already rename Pakistan? Last stream you mentioned wanting to tackle them this stream. Oh god, did I? Shit, I gotta get better on planning. Yeah, possibly last stream I said we were gonna... Yeah, sorry, I guess plans changed. I wanted to work on Italy because of some reason. So maybe we'll work on Pakistan, Brazil, and some more of the Italian borderlands next stream. Or maybe I'll forget. That's kind of the way this is gonna work. But yeah, if you'll forgive me, I think we'll end things just a little earlier than normally. My throat's a little rough today, so let's close it off here. Okay, we'll bring back the HUD. Also, got a nice saxophone going. That's some slick urban beats going on here. Okay, so that's gonna end it there for today. Thank you all so much for joining me. But if you want to see the map as it exists right now, there's a link that just popped up in the stream. That'll hopefully be updated with today's changes in, I don't know, the next week or so before next stream, God willing. Yeah, if you want to see more of the wiki, we're slowly updating it as we go along here. And if you want to suggest system names, that link is in chat as well. So thank you all so much for joining me, and we'll catch you next week as we continue adding star systems to this map that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And thanks for putting up with my little rough voice today. If I was sounded a little scattered, it's yeah, this medication tends to knock me out, so hopefully I was making a bit of sense here. All right, cheers everybody, we'll catch you next time.